It's a privilege for me to have the opportunity to share one more time to all of my friends, my lifelong friends. I have a special guest in the audience. Actually, I have 3 special guests. I have a lot of special guests, but they just arrived this morning. My mom. Mom, would you stand up? Thank you for giving me life. And holding my mother's arm is my brother-in-law, Terry Forey, who's retired from the railroad, married to my sister, Beverly, who was my first guest at a Mary Kay event, and now she's here as a guest at my very last Mary Kay event.
Wow.
Would you stand, Bev? I'm honored that you're here. Well, I've been invited to talk about building a legacy. And I guess what I could say right now and not have to say a word after is Billy Graham. We all know what a legacy he's left for eternity. And I can also share with you that when I say the words, Mary Kay Ash, she's left an amazing legacy, and I'm sure that you would all agree with that has spanned the globes. It's crossed over languages, because the language of Mary Kay is love. She's left us a business legacy as well as a spiritual legacy when she chose to take God as her business partner, September 13th of 1963. And because of her obedience and her choices, we have been blessed for 55 years. We are charged with carrying on Mary Kay's legacy by each of us building our own legacy. And that is what will contribute to the overall success and the longevity of Mary Kay Cosmetics for the next 55 years. My friends, you are Mary Kay's legacy. You are beautiful, you're smart, you're faith-filled, you're courageous, you're goal-setters. You have everything inside of you because the Holy Spirit has endowed you with special gifts and talents and abilities. And that is what we are called to do. So I'm believing that the Lord's going to speak to your heart this morning. I have invited the Holy Spirit to hover over this room and over this podium today and over every seat in the San Diego Convention Center, because I want him to know and to let you know what a huge part each of your lives are to the future of Mary Kay Cosmetics. You see, what you can do in the natural, God will do in the super, and together, God has done supernatural things through the opportunity of Mary Kay. You know, I was sitting on the floor in front of my fireplace because I had hurt my knee and I couldn't sit in a chair, and I had a bag of ice on there, and I just looked over, and underneath the coffee table in my living room was a book that I forgot I'd put there. And the book was called You Can Have It All. And I quote from Mary Kay's book. God had that book at the perfect eyesight for me. And I quote this from Mary Kay's words and heart herself. My priorities have always been God first, family second, and career third. I have found that when I put my life in this order, everything seems to work out. This is what we believe at Mary Kay. With trust in God, our company has soared to astonishing heights in the business world. God was my first priority early in my career when I was struggling to make ends meet. Through the failures and successes I've experienced since then, my faith remains unshaken. Our belief in God should never be checked at the door when we punch a time clock. Faith is a 24-hour-a-day commitment, and many women have made the mistake of changing their beliefs to accommodate their work. It must be the other way around. No circumstance is so unusual that it demands a double standard or separates us from our faith. I can affirm that the growth and success of Mary Kay Cosmetics is a direct result of having taken God as our guide. I believe he blessed our company because its motivation is right. Mary Kay said, I want women to excel through the talents that God has given all of us, end quote. Simple, uncomplicated, profound, uncompromising truths Mary Kay established as the bedrock foundation of our company. My friends, we're trendy, and we'll always be trendy, but without compromising the principles, because principles never change. We must be careful to carry on the baton of faith to the next generations to come. If we want to preserve the original DNA of Mary Kay's legacy and protect Mary Kay's dream for generations, we must keep the baton of faith at the forefront of every transaction in our lives. Hebrews 11, chapter 11, is all about the great hall of faith. Mary Kay built this legacy. She built this company on faith. And faith, by its biblical definition, says, faith is the confident assurance that what we hope for is going to happen. It is the evidence of things we cannot yet see. Mary Kay and her 9 girlfriends that she enlisted started this company with an outstanding product and heaps of faith. And we have the blessing of knowing the endless achievements of many of our NSD ancestors who went before us and are now emeriti. So we know that this business model works because of their history of achievements. Hebrews 12:1 says, therefore, since we are surrounded by such a huge crowd of witnesses to the life of faith, those are the NSD ancestors who are now emeriti, let us strip off every weight that slows us down and let us run with endurance the race that God has set before us. Woo! We are in a race, my friends. It's our turn now for each one of us to run the race and build our legacy the same way that those who ran before us did. Each generation of NSDs that graduate to emeritus status are passing the Mary Kay baton to all of you. I recently heard a sermon by Christine Kane from Australia. She riveted me with her message about the Olympic Games, but most specifically, she was in love with the women's relay race. And I knew when I heard that message that the Lord wanted me to order some batons and take this as my last speech on this stage. You see, America had the fastest women's relay team in the Olympics. And on a relay team, the critical inch is the passing of the baton to the next runner. What should have been gold for the United States ended up a bronze medal. Why? Because coming into the second exchange zone, the team got too comfortable. She said sloppy as the word used. The U.S. women's team didn't lose for lack of skill or talent, but they lost in the exchange zone, and the baton was sloppy, and they were too self-assured of their victory. If it's not a seamless exchange in the Mary Kay exchange zone, whatever happened before with all of our ancestors falls to the ground and goes nowhere. In the exchange zone, what we should experience is increased momentum and speed, and the way the baton exchanges hands determines the entire Mary Kay race. It has a lot to do with us. If we are not casual to pass the baton of faith that Mary Kay gave us in the Mary Kay exchange zone, from generation to generation, we are one generation away from being extinct in our faith in this company. And I believe we'll lose our protection. We cannot afford to be comfortable in the exchange zone. We cannot exchange Mary Kay's principles or traditions by building our business any other way except for the foundation on which it was designed to have a sustainable life. The strength of any building is in its foundation. Two things can make a foundation crumble. Number one is when you build with inferior materials. Well, inferior materials for us, as it relates to Mary Kay, are people who do not embrace our traditions and our principles. Number two, the foundation when it's tampered with. In the last 6 days, 17 national sales directors, myself being one of them, we got a new piece to our title, and that was emeriti. So unless we replace those bricks in the foundation of Mary Kay Cosmetics with women who believe what Mary Kay taught, our foundation could be at risk. We need you to build your legacy with Mary Kay and build on the tried and true principles that our founder, Mary Kay Ash, and our NSD ancestors built their legacy areas on, right alongside rolling up their sleeves with Mary Kay Ash herself. Because that's how we will stay true to our very strong and solid heritage. My friends, we are part of a relay. People came before us and ran their races, and others will come after us and run their race. When you and I are part of a relay, it doesn't matter how fast or strong one individual is, because our company was not designed to be an individual sport. It wasn't designed to be a sprint. Each of us are building our legacy that involves building in the lives of human beings that are then becoming human becomings because of our Mary Kay principles. It's our business is totally built on relationships, starting with our wonderful, amazing customers, and then team building with consultants, and then building units, and then taking those units and finding the leaders and building top units, and then turning those units into a unit called a national area, and we call those families. We must pick up the 17 batons from those of us graduating to emeritus status and pass them on to you. Will you grab hold today, right now in your heart, and make a commitment right now? Put your hand on your heart and say, yes, I will. With the help of the good Lord and grit and grace, I will grab this baton. Do you have your hand on your heart? If you don't,
yes.
You are not serious. I'm telling you right now, make a commitment, because every commitment starts in the heart. My friends, we are in the exchange zone. We must be ever so careful not to be careless in the exchange zone and drop the baton of faith. We can accelerate or decelerate depending on each of you building your businesses, which in turn builds people, which in turn builds a legacy. The goal in this relay race is to go from strength to strength by cherishing Mary Kay's traditions and teachings and then passing them on. We have a rich 55-year history, and our job is to protect Mary Kay's dream and then bring that dream fresh to the next generation of consultants. I believe we are so unique because Mary Kay took a biblical principle in the 60s, Matthew 7:12, to do unto others as you would have them do unto you, as a guiding rudder for her company. I think to myself, with the Bible and 66 books and all the individual verses, why did Mary Kay choose a universal principle when she just started out in Dallas with 9 girlfriends? I know why. Because we're in almost 40 countries and everybody understands the golden rule, and the Lord knew that. And he gave her that verse. I'm so proud of that. Coincidental? I think not. To me, it's Godcidental. Because God already knows the start and he knows the finish. We live the dash. So how did these Mary Kay giants, our ancestors who went before us, do it in the 60s? Think about this. Mary Kay didn't have social media to distract her. She didn't have social media to derail her or let her play the comparison game. Mary Kay never took an assessment test. She never set up a profile on LinkedIn. She never had a Facebook page, but she taught us every time you see a Facebook it. She invented Facebook. Mary Kay never had a Twitter account. She didn't do Snapchat. She didn't know what a pic collage was. There was no Match.com. She didn't take the DISC, whatever it is. Her intuition taught her, you mirror the women that you sit across from. And I'm telling you, I might offend some of you, but it's okay, I'm on my way out. Mary Kay never had a coach. She herself used the Lord as her business coach and the people that she knew in the industry that was better than her. Woo! You have amazing coaches, and they're called national sales directors. They're called top directors. They're million-dollar directors. You have all you need to succeed with the most amazing mentors who actually carried a starter kit and went out and held a party. How about that? Why do we categorize ourselves? Why do we compare ourselves? Why do we put ourselves in boxes today with a label on us because somebody told us that's our personality? It restricts your potential, and anything that's an enemy to your body is an enemy to your potential. Quit scrolling on Facebook through everyone else's race and run your own race. All you're seeing are the highlight reels. You will never finish your course if you're looking behind you or you're looking side to side. Put your blinders on and run your own race. Do not be distracted. Be responsible to your business. It is so simple. You hold a dang party and then you recruit somebody from it and then you pass it on. It is so simple. And don't tell me nobody wants to book a party. I could book a 10-party week next week. Women, I have a better idea. Just give me your profiles and if I book 10 parties, I get them. How about that? I bet you'd find 10 parties in your own profiles. Women love to gather. Parties are out there waiting to be booked. And if I had a Destination Red Cruise in front of me, I'd have a 10 or 20 party week and get it done in 7 days. And call it a good day's work. Wear the brand and be the brand. I can't tell you how many times I'm out at Starbucks and I see a consultant and I don't know if she's a consultant, she's undercover. You know why? There's no pin. Nothing alerts me that she's in Mary Kay. We have to get our pins back out and start wearing them. Talk about your company, talk about your product, talk about your amazing opportunity. Exercise your muscle of faith. Give every person the opportunity to say yes. If you don't ask them, you make the decision for them. There are 7 billion people on the planet. You think you could find a few? Some will say yes. We are agents of change. Calm down. I'm yelling at you now. Okay. My veins are popping. I can feel it. Blood might spurt. Put up your splatter shield. We are agents of change.
No, that's what we get on a daily.
Friends. My life was transformed by the Mary Kay opportunity, and so is my eternal address changed. And I want to tell you that the same scripture that says, let us run with endurance the race that God has set before us, Hebrews 12:1, also says, strip off every weight that slows us down. You cannot run a marathon with weights around your ankles, and I never understood that until I ran my first marathon on November 3rd. Thank you, Jordan, my beautiful daughter, for blessing me with a Mother's Day gift that she and I would run our first marathon before I turned 65. Running that marathon was a high, but the lessons that came with it will go all the way with me to eternity. You know, when I finished the 13 miles, poor Jordan had a bum little ankle. It hurt her so bad, but she ran 13 miles because she didn't want me to do the whole thing alone. She went off to the cheering crowds and the music and everybody crossing the half marathon. And I went this way, and there was no one, and I said, no one's running this marathon? They were all so far ahead of me, I couldn't see anybody. And what I saw when I made the round, and I said to the policeman, I said, where is everybody? He said, well, they're probably done. Oh, okay. Well, this is my first marathon, and I'm 65, so I think I'm doing really good. And I wasn't going for time. I want to tell you what I saw. I walked around, I'm seeing like jackets and headbands and stocking caps, and I'm seeing socks, and I'm seeing clothing and articles, and I'm going, oh my gosh. They were dropping articles of clothing and leaving them on the street. And the Lord said to me, you may have to drop some things to finish your race. Procrastination, fear, another job, laziness, other people's opinions, some unhealthy habits, or an unhealthy attitude like no one wants to book or recruit. It's a lie. You may need a breakthrough in thinking and action to get you to your next level. Run unhindered. Drop any weights from your past, or you'll stay anchored that past. It'll be a rudder instead of you being able to move forward, and you'll never be able to pass the baton. Mary Kay is not a sprint. I said yes for a lifetime when I walked away from my job in working for a Fortune 50 company. I didn't say yes for a season to see if it would work. I didn't even say yes for a reason. I loved the environment. I want you to hold this baton sacred. I believe that records are waiting to be broken. Why not you? When your why outperforms your excuses, you can break your own records. My My friends, we cannot drop this baton in the exchange zone. I want you to open your eyes to see the blessings of God and all the gifts that He's endowed you with. We've all seen our NSD pioneers. Now it's time for you to step up. We need to continue to tell the Mary Kay stories of victories and women who have overcome. But I want you to know, don't dwell on your sad story, but share your glory story, because it gives women hope, no matter what their circumstances. Your story may have sad parts. Mine had a lot of sad parts, but Mary Kay taught us that we can always relate to women through our challenges and share with them that we understand how they feel, because we felt the same way. But guess what we found? And if that's not exactly your story, you know someone who felt the same way. You walked with her through it. But this is what you found together. And that gives people hope. We all have a life story. We all have a message that can inspire others to live a better life or run a better business. Why not use your story and your mess to serve other people? Mary Kay gave us a 3-word charge over and over: pass it on. That's all she said. Every speech was littered with those 3 words: pass it on. Those 3 little words can change someone's life. So please don't be an undercover sales director. Put a smile on your face. If you're happy, alert your face. Put some lipstick on. Don't use a casualness about this business to keep you from passing your card out to somebody who needs this business, who is looking for an opportunity like Mary Kay. Get out of your house. Put some cards in your pocket. Put a pin on yourself. I believe, as I said, that we are agents of change disguised as Mary Kay Beauty Consultants. I will never forget when Mary Kay was interviewed by Morley Safer on 60 Minutes. And Morley leaned into her and he said, Mary Kay, don't you feel like you're using God just a little bit? And Mary Kay leaned in and said, I hope not. I sincerely hope not. I hope instead He's using me. As we move into 2019 and beyond, the pink baton of faith is being passed on to you. You are in this Mary Kay relay race, and the exchange cannot happen too late, and you must hand over what needs to be handed over, or we will miss our moment as a company to gain and sustain momentum. You must be committed to teach others, love others, lead others, serve others, equip others, believe in others, and in doing so, you will be building your legacy. There must be a seamless exchange zone. You guys, we are the best at this game. I believe with this Destination Red, we're going to create a pink revolution. How brilliant is our company to offer, for the first time in the history of Mary Kay, giving everyone, consultants, directors, a chance to earn a 5-day cruise. I met National Sales Director Bridget Shaw on a cruise in the Bahamas, in the workout room. Who is going to be waiting for you on this cruise? You have the best product, the best promotions, the best corporate staff supporting your dreams. You have gifts and talents just waiting to be discovered and then developed by you by being on the field and then deployed. That means getting them all over the world. You have mentors in front of you, and you can stand on the great history and shoulders of women who achieved before you, and that should be enough support for you. Our society wants us to on a headlong dash into the future. And we always must be future focused, but we cannot misplace our past. I believe our traditions of the past will feed us and keep us feeling the kinship with the rich heritage that Mary Kay must keep alive. Daylene White was my first ever national sales director, and I am so thankful to have been influenced by her incomparable work ethic. Mary Kay's legacy is at stake. I'm thankful for the blessing of legacy leaders. I'm thankful that Debbie Moore looked deep inside of me when I was a broken person with no driver's license, taking antidepressants, just got out of the psychiatric care unit, anorexic, and she saw something inside of me. Debbie, I don't know where you are, but thank you. Thank you for not dropping my baton.
Woo!
There's somebody out there like me that God will take the mess of their life and make it the message. I'm so thankful for my beautiful, Jesus-loving offspring national sales directors who grabbed the baton of faith when my life crumbled at 60 years of age. And they became national sales directors all on their own. And you know why? Because everything that was invested and poured into them from the time they signed their agreement, and finally the giant rose up and came out in them. And Heather Carlson debuted with Sue Ubel. And then Elaine Williams and Melody Fox debuted. And have been the worst 5 years of my life, but God.
But God. Amen.
My Dawn Sweeney, she's my sister, Debbie's offspring. She called me up when she heard the news and said, this phone call is going to hurt you, but it's going to be a blessing. I believe that the 30 years of ministry you had in Mary Kay will pale in comparison to your next 5 because of what you're going through if you walk through it with Jesus.
Wow.
Dawn, thank you for that profound prophetic message. I walked through and I am healthy and healed and whole, and I am so grateful. Woo! I have friends for life. My title may change, but my friends are friends to eternity. I'm believing my beautiful daughter, Jordan Eicher, who is my legacy, and my beautiful daughter, Sydney, who is my legacy, will be in their own relay races, taking my baton. Jordan, I know you're going to build your Pure Gold national area, and I know there's going to be way more national areas coming, springing forth. Carry on, my friends, and create new members of the Mary Kay Hall of Faith. We need you. We need you to shore up the Mary Kay Foundation with Destination Red Winners, with new directors, with new national area families being birthed. Ephesians 2:10 says, for we are God's masterpiece, created new in Christ Jesus to do the good works that he planned for us long ago. He has good works. He's got planned for you from long ago. Step into your good works. You've got to keep Mary Kay's dream alive by building your legacy. Do not drop the baton of faith. Excellence honors God, and if you call yourself a Christ follower, you know what it says? Fruitfulness is not an option, it's an expectation. Absolutely. Can I count on you? I am passing this baton to you. Will you accept it?
Yes.
Will you run your race with endurance?
Yes.
I told you I'm taking off my heels.
Burberry shoes.
Because I'm going to be walking around with my grandbabies. I'm putting on my Burberrys. And I'm leaving it all in your hands. It is well with my soul. God has been good to me. And he's waiting to be good to you. He's your Father. He wants to give you every good and perfect thing. I love you.
Wow.